Okay, let's just jump right in. If you've looked at the market, or your grocery bill, or pretty much the entire political landscape lately, and just thought to yourself, what on earth is going on? Well, you are definitely not alone. It feels chaotic, right? But it turns out all these weird, seemingly disconnected things are actually all tangled up together.
And really, it all starts right here, with this kind of mind-blowing reality that a tiny group of people, literally maybe 5 people in a room, can make decisions that send these massive shockwaves through the entire global economy. Their choices hit everything from your mortgage to the price of Bitcoin.
So you might have noticed the market has been acting, well, choppy. That big rally everyone was banking on for October, yeah, it never really showed up. And the reason comes down to this wonky sounding but absolutely critical idea: liquidity. Or to be more precise, the fact that it's drying up fast.
Think of it like this. Liquidity is the oil in the engine of the financial system. When there's plenty of it, everything just works. It runs smoothly, assets go up, everyone's happy. But right now, we're running dangerously low on that oil, and you can hear the engine starting to grind and seize up.
But here's the wild part. In this moment of what I can only call shocking honesty, Fed Chair Powell basically threw his hands up and admitted the game's over. He pretty much conceded that their whole plan to tighten the money supply and shrink their gigantic balance sheet, yeah, that's done. The only way forward, inevitably, is more quantitative easing, QE. The money printer is coming back. Now, you just know they're not going to call it QE. Come on, they're going to cook up some new, super boring acronym for it, something like the Systemic Stability Lending Facility. But let's be real. If it looks like money printing and it smells like money printing, it's money printing. Okay, so this is where things get really weird. At the exact same moment the government is getting its printing press all warmed up, there's another, equally powerful force pushing in the complete opposite direction, and that's technology. It's making things radically, almost unbelievably, cheaper. So let's talk about deflationary shock number one: transportation. Thanks to AI and robotics, the cost of just getting around is about to totally collapse. I mean, a ride to the airport that costs you $20 today could cost you just $4 in the pretty near future. That's not a small change, that's a massive deflationary force. And then here comes shock number two: labor. Companies like Amazon are openly talking about replacing 3/4 of their warehouse staff with robots in the next decade. Just let that sink in. We're talking millions of jobs in logistics, retail, transportation, just poof, potentially gone. And this right here is the central paradox of our time. It's a real head-scratcher. On one hand, technology is super deflationary. It makes stuff cheaper. But what happens when millions of people lose their jobs to that same technology? Well, the political pressure for the government to do something, like universal basic income, is going to be overwhelming. And how do you think they'll pay for that? You guessed it. Brrr. They'll print the money. So you get this insane economic whiplash, right? Your savings are being inflated into oblivion while a robot is coming for your job. This creates this immense political tension. People are angry, they feel like the whole system is rigged, and they are desperately looking for a villain to blame. And you know what? You can totally understand that feeling. When you see the stock market and housing prices just exploding for the wealthy, while your own costs are going up and your paycheck feels stuck, it is so easy to feel like the game is rigged against you. The idea of just taxing the rich and spreading it around starts to sound really, really good. But the argument here is that what people are so angry at isn't real capitalism. It's this twisted version of it. It's crony capitalism. A system where the winners aren't the people who build the best products or create the most value, but the ones who have the best lobbyists and the closest connections to the folks controlling that money printer. So if the entire system of government money feels broken, if it feels unfair, where do you even go? What's the escape hatch? Well, for a growing number of people, the answer is to look for a way out of the system altogether. For like 5,000 years, the answer was gold. And hey, central banks are still hoarding it like crazy. But a new generation sees gold as kind of pre-evolved. It's the old school solution. They're turning to a digital alternative, one that governments can't control, can't print more of, and can't manipulate. And look, the numbers don't lie. Gold has absolutely done its job as a warning sign that our money's being debased. But this chart just perfectly illustrates the difference in scale. Bitcoin isn't just a store of value, it's a technology that's been on a completely different planet, just totally outperforming its old analog cousin. But okay. Let's talk about the final boss,
The one big doomsday scenario that always comes up when you talk about Bitcoin. Couldn't some futuristic supercomputer just, hack the whole thing and break it?
Right, let's cut through the hype here because the details really matter. When you see a headline that says, scientists build a 1,000,000-qubit quantum computer, they're talking about physical qubits. These things are noisy, unstable, and full of errors. The number that actually matters for breaking encryption is logical qubits, and the real number of those today is incredibly small, probably less than 100.
So, funnily enough, the real challenge isn't some surprise quantum attack out of nowhere. It's the huge social problem of upgrading a decentralized network. I mean, trying to get millions of anonymous users to all agree on a major change, migrate all the coins safely, and find leaders who are willing to stick their necks out without getting totally crucified by the community, that's the hard part. So we're left with this final massive question. We are caught in this epic tug-of-war between two of the most powerful forces in human history: technological deflation on one side and government-driven inflation on the other. And whichever side wins that battle, well, that's going to define not just the value of the money in your wallet, but the entire shape of our society for decades to come.